going live.
What's that say? 50 what?
500.
Okay, we're good.
500, Chris. That's how good of a deal you
It's Hat
did.
Thursday.
Hat day.
Oh wait, it was crooked the other way.
Dusty. All dusty.
Which
This
looks right.
hat
That
is
or
dusty.
that? I always think when I put on a hat that it's straight, and then I look and I go, "That's not straight."
You know, I was talking with Joy about it the other day, and about like how off kilter your body actually is.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you sit straight and look down, is generally one of your shoulders is forward of the other. Mine is usually my left, so maybe it's a hat thing too.
It might be. I'm left-handed. My hat is canted, is dressed to the left.
There you go. I like them at a jaunty angle.
Yeah.
Okay, Chris. So
why you wear your hat like this?
Because
I don't want to look stupid.
Yeah, you want to look cool.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
So, Chris, before we get started, we have a little thing here. We got a special delivery. All the way from Yorkshire, England.
Yes.
It's on that side of the line. So yeah.
Okay. So we got this yesterday from our good friend Paul Hall.
Yeah.
In jolly old England.
Yeah.
And some of this I might not be able to read, but it does say Paul Hall, #1 farter. Up top. That's his letterhead now. Apparently,
you won't be able to read it on the count of it's in a secret cursive, or because it's
English,
or because there's the naughty bits in it.
Yeah. So to Matt, Chris, JJJ, and the Hills, Chris and Dina Hill. Remembering Dave's hot chicken, and thought I'd send you a jar of my favorite pickle.
Pickle.
I used it to pep up a curry or chili, but only 1 teaspoon for 2 portions.
Okay.
Handle with care or Hanole with cars. One of the two. Uh-oh. Did you see that?
Oh, yeah. That's all kinds of kooky stuff happening. Yeah.
Handle with cars. Now, handle with care. A nice IPA is a great way to follow Mr. Naga. And I didn't understand the Mr. Naga.
Oh, it's
but it's Mr. It's Nags, right?
No, it's Mr. Naga.
Mr. Naga.
Mr. Naga Gold, hot pepper pickle.
Best wishes,
hot pepper
Paul
pickle.
Hall.
So this says, being very hot, use according to your taste. Chris, I bet you could just eat this with a spoon. I bet you could just mow this whole thing.
I'm not going to mow the whole thing.
No, I don't think you could mow the whole thing, but yeah. Hey, Tim sent us an email, and Tim, before you inquire, your truss rod jig did go out.
It did.
So,
I threw it at the guy today.
Okay.
So can I bust this open?
I'm fine by me. Yeah. I hope that Paul's watching.
He will later.
Okay. All right.
He watching now.
Okay. Woo, dude. That's tough.
What did he say? A tablespoon?
That's thick. I think he said, that's thick and oily, dude.
All right, I'm gonna go with that much.
Okay.
Mash it around in my mouth.
Okay. Your number 2s are gonna look funny in the morning, I bet. Is it warm?
Yeah, it's got some kick. And
Woo!
It's
got some kick. I was hoping you were doing
a peppery. Or pickly, I mean, too. It's got a little bit of a vinegar thing to it. It's actually quite nice.
It smells good from here, but
nice.
It smells but you can
I should have brought you a spoon. You want a spoon?
No, I'm okay.
Yeah,
I would probably eat it with something, not just a plastic spoon.
What?
Yeah. So anyhows,
so yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. So we are in the middle of a workshop right now, and guys, my computer looks like it's doing all kinds of stuff. I hope that this works, but somebody can somebody tell me if everything looks like it's supposed to look, and maybe Jay, he's typing. Hi, Jay. Okay. Mike Beckloff. Hi, Mike. Says looking good. Lefty, Tazzy Tim. Okay. All right. So we look at the computer looks like it's doing some funky stuff, but looks like we're okay. So thank you guys for your help. So, so Chris, we're right in the middle of a workshop today, and November was was originally scheduled to only be build a BC Rich thing.
Yes. Build a neck through BC Rich.
Yeah. And we were getting not a lot of response from that one, which I don't understand, frankly. And so we added, make whatever neck through thing you want. I mean, that's the kind of thing that we did, right?
Yeah.
So,
you know, one neck through is the same as all the other neck throughs, right?
No. But I don't know. So, guys, when you ask me, hey, when's the schedule for 26 gonna go up?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, until people start actually coming to these things, like I don't know what you want to do.
Well, I think we have one more this month or this year.
Mm-hmm.
So chances are people aren't going to start coming to them.
Yeah.
We need to schedule some, but
we have
we are a little bit pensive about, is that the right word? About scheduling a bunch of classes when we've only had one guy or two guys show up to a bunch of them this year, which frankly we lose money on.
Now, I think that like the economy is just a little slow right now,
and so we're trying to figure out, and I think Matt and I are over complicating
maybe
what classes or what works and what doesn't work, because we're basing it all on this year. We're not basing it on previous years when virtually everything worked. And we had lots of people come to every class. So we'll get a schedule out soon, probably for the first 3 classes of the year. And those won't be January, February.
No. I'm thinking I'm going to do the whole year.
Okay.
Now we reserve the right to add more stuff.
Yes.
Or if, say, for the sake of conversation, I set one up for, I don't know, June.
Sure.
And nobody signs up for it, but somebody else says, hey, I want to come do something else in June. Well, then I'll just change the whole thing to be that. You know what I mean? So, yeah. I'm just, throwing it out. There's something that could happen.
The other thing we're going to do is offer the classes for $100 down.
Yeah. Would that be helpful to you guys if there was like a way to, by the way, there's always been a way to just put a little bit down and pay it off as you go. But if you don't know, you don't know.
Be a clickable button, right?
In fact, that's only going to be the way you can do classes is the same way
slowly
we do.
Pay for it, or you can wait till right before the class. That way if we have to cancel it, we only owe you $100.
We've had such great success with our limited edition pre-order things that it seems to me like, why don't we just do classes like that where pre-order for the June class, whatever that's going to be. And it's $100, and then I'll send you an invoice for the remainder, and then you can pay it off as you go. We've always done that, but I don't think that everybody knows that we do that. So like I said, unless you just know, then you might not know. Right.
Yeah. If you don't know, then chances are you don't know.
Well, yeah. If you don't even know what you don't know, that happens to me all the time. So, okie dokie. All right, Chris. So can you bring a tent and camp in my yard? No, you can't camp in my yard, but you got to, okay.
There are places you could camp.
There are places you could camp. And because we are right outside of Denver, Colorado, and because we are in an industrial area, there are a lot of urban campers.
There's a lot of people camping right now.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. There's a guy about a half a mile from here who has been occupying the same couch on the side of the road for. I'm not trying to scare anybody into not coming, but
no, I don't ever feel. I'd walk any time of day around here.
He never gets up off the couch.
No.
I mean,
it's
he like
a love seat. It's not even a full size.
Yeah,
couch.
I mean he'll relocate, from one side to the next. But yeah,
he sleeps all day.
I think there might be some other things.
He may also sleep all night.
Yeah, there might be
2 or 3 hours that we don't see.
Yeah,
where he's
bound to be that. Yeah,
lively.
Yeah,
he might be a cat.
So if you want to camp, Bobby Dale once told me there's a fine line between camping and being homeless. And so, yeah, by all means, come out and I'm sure we can find. There's a storage unit right across the street. I mean, you probably rent that for a week.
Somebody's living in there.
I guarantee more than one person.
Yeah.
Oh goodness. Okay.
There's some hotels around here where if you stayed in one, you might wish you were camping.
Yeah, you might rather. Yeah. Okie doke. Dylan says there's tons of cool places, and Dylan is right. There are tons of cool places. He actually says to camp.
A weed hostel where you can stay in the backyard. That's camping.
That is a real thing that we saw. Yeah. So if you have a module like Dylan does, there's lots of good places to stay. And
and I think there's actually some real live camping. And if you have a vehicle, you could actually go and because we're fairly close to the foothills and the mountains. So if you wanted to spend 30 or 45 minutes driving, you could come up with a really cool camp spot. For real.
So okay. All right, Chris. So
but don't show up stinky.
No, or smelling like a campfire.
Or that counts as stinky.
That counts as stinky.
Or pine cones.
Yeah, whatever you wipe with. So I don't know how it works, Chris. Okay, I'm not much of a. I'm more.
I don't like camping. Why?
I'm more of an indoor boy.
Yeah.
So anyhow, so Chris, we were talking today, you and I, while David was sanding.
And sanding.
And we were talking about G&L, and it occurred to me there are some guitar brands that just were gone too soon. And let's of course the 800-pound gorilla is G&L, right? What do you know about that?
What do I know about the G&L thing? Well, so Phil McKnight actually had a pretty good video, and I'm sure the first one ever. No, where he was talking about it, and apparently he knows the owners pretty well. He's talked to them quite a bit. Talked to them earlier this year, and they kind of never updated their approach to the market, according to Phil.
Okay.
And that he tried to talk them even into the 2010s as far as marketing approach, and they just couldn't do it, wouldn't do it, whatever. And he said if I could have talked him into 2025, that would have been even better, but I couldn't even talk him into 2010.
Wow. Okay.
So I don't know what the ultimate issue was. Phil did talk about cash flow and all of that, and he said, you need cash flow or a loan, and he goes, and really those are the same thing. It's cash in, cash out.
Yeah.
And he said they just kind of ran out of that.
Okay.
So there you go. And I think pandemic, they probably did pretty well, just like a lot of places.
A lot of guys did pretty good.
And I think post-pandemic, going back to reality, was difficult for a lot of manufacturers. And if you're big, it's easy to get loans. If you're small, it's not easy to get loans to carry you through those tough times.
Okay. G&L has been around for as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
I mean, in
79.
Yeah, like in the 80s, I don't remember a whole lot about G&L, but it wasn't like, they just sort of came along.
Yeah, well, so they were always in the magazines. I remember that. That might be what Phil's talking about.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, and they always, G&L, Fullerton. Huh, okay.
But isn't it funny that like a brand that's been around for as long as they were is now just sort of gone, and that's probably going to happen to a lot of those smaller outfits.
Yeah,
is when interest starts to wane, or if something happens to you or I, that's it for this thing, right? I mean, whether there are all sorts of reasons why a company could cease to be a company.
Yes.
In the case of a 2-guy operation, something happens to one of those guys, and that pretty much puts the brakes to everything. A company like G&L, obviously was founded by two guys who didn't stay there for forever, and somehow that they managed to still be a company.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it got. I guess the owner guys are two brothers.
Right? Are they
Peavey?
the most recent ones? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and the funny thing is everybody thinks GNL is a fairly large company, tiny
compared to you and I.
Yeah, well,
GNL
compared
was
to us,
downright
yeah,
gigantic.
Gigantic, yeah, but not really. Yeah, if I bet you 25 employees.
That's pretty small.
Probably
that doesn't
20 guys
include the
working in
import stuff, though.
No,
right?
no, but it was not a big company, and so probably just big enough to be small enough to be to feel the brunt of all this stuff that happens. And so
Tezzy Tim wants everyone to be sure to know that 20-cent guitars is still alive and kicking.
Oh, good, yeah.
And Jerry J says hi to Matt and Chris. Thank you, Jerry.
So when I was shipping Tim's item, I had to give it a value in Australian dollars. So I'm now an expert at currency exchange.
The exchange rate.
20 cent. This is gonna sound mean. 20 cent guitars in Australia, about 14 cents here in the US. Just saying, Tim.
So some guys are talking about the GNL stuff that all got bought up now that they're gone. Do you think there's going to be do you think GNL is going to have a popularity boon in a surge in popularity now that they're gone? Maybe for a little while anyway.
People will, try and buy up some of that stuff.
Do you think you'll ever hear the phrase, "Oh, this is one of the good ones"?
Yeah, one of the funny things
I know
there's a lot of people that are wondering where the final GNLs are going to end up, where they are ending up. I kind of know a little bit.
Okay.
I think just from what I've seen, but I also think there are a lot of those people that think they can get a bargain on them.
Well, so wait a minute. I guess I don't follow.
Well, so oh man, that's a bummer that GNL went out of business. I bet all their stuff's on super sale, right?
Oh, okay. Is it?
Not to my knowledge.
Yeah, I think guys are saying that it's all gone.
They farmed it all out to a company called MIRC, which is out of Nashville, and they're the guys that manufacturers send damaged and seconds to, and they fix them. Those are the guys that remove the serial number or cover it up now with a piece of tape and stamp used on the back of the headstock like a bunch of bastards.
Okay.
Just wreck the serial number and cover it up with the other thing. Don't stamp it used.
Yeah.
Yeah. What? But anyway, they have apparently they have it, and they're going to dole it out to their dealers because they have a dealer network.
Okay.
They don't sell stuff.
Yeah.
Like Ike from Flipside could become
get
MIRC
this stuff.
dealer
So for all we know, we don't know.
But that's
Ike could have all the
secondary market. So MIRC buys it for $1. They sell it to Ike for $2. He sells it to you for $3.
Whatever, yeah.
Or whatever. And if it was $3, that'd be a good deal. But anyway, so I don't know what's going to happen with all of that kind of thing. But there will probably be a little bit of a buzz, and then all of it will die down.
Completely off topic. Vladomar79 says, "Hello, do you have any experience in building acoustic guitars?" Yes. Okay. So anyway, back to guitar brands that are gone too soon, and maybe some that just refuse to go away. What's one of your favorite guitar companies that's gone, that was maybe not gone too soon, but is gone?
Well,
and guys, the next thing I'm gonna ask is, what's one of your favorite guitar brands that's gone, and why is it that some of these things still kind of keep popping up?
Yeah.
Like, for example, I know this is part of the same question, but I said, is BC Rich still even a brand? And you said, actually, I saw a bunch of BC Rich Ironbirds on, what was it, Sweetwater or something?
Yeah, on Sweetwater. And I didn't look any further. I'm sure they have a bunch of other, and they were marketed as 2025.
Okay.
Whatever they were. And they had a whole bunch of price ranges.
Yeah. It seems to me that
had Mockingbirds and everything else from the. 12
just
and a half
like
seconds I looked.
Gear up to make like, okay, we're gonna do a
Maybe.
big run of mockingbirds.
Well,
now,
so I don't know, but you know, in the import game, numbers count.
Okay.
And part of the reason for that is you got to get them over here, and so you have to rent.
Yeah.
You have to get a container, a seafaring container, and you can buy, you know, sections of a container or part of a container or half a container. But if you could fill a container, that benefits you in the overall scheme of things.
Yeah, you don't want to send just one or two guitars.
That's a losing proposition. Yeah. So yeah, I think you might gear up for a year's worth of stuff.
Okay.
You know, depending on who you are and what you're doing. Yeah.
Okay. Well, so anyway, back to my original question, Chris. What's one of the guitar brands that you miss?
Can I just mention one that I'm surprised has gone away?
Oh, yeah.
Parker.
Do you think that was because the guy died?
Did he?
Yeah.
I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
Other than it's not a thing anymore.
And I don't.
He just died.
He just did. Yeah.
But
okay.
Parker's been dead for a while.
Okay. So the guitar brand has been. Okay. Yeah, that was a guitar company that was around for a long, long time.
And you saw them everywhere.
And you saw them everywhere.
They had float my boat, but not because of anything in particular, just because I wasn't really into it. But I knew a lot of people that seemingly thought they were neat.
Yeah. Well, they were cool because they were super lightweight.
Yeah, they were lightweight. It was just, you know, it was fairly familiar, but, you know, but still modern. Yeah.
What about, do you remember Valley Arts?
Yes.
Evidently, the one of the guys who was one of the owners at Valley Arts back in the late 80s, he reached out to me once, and I it was probably like, I don't know, like a video thing.
Yeah.
Or maybe he sent me an email or something. I can't remember.
Did we talk about him?
Maybe.
Okay.
And Valley Arts was one of those companies that was like, everywhere you looked, there was somebody playing a Valley Arts guitar. And then they just kind of went away. I don't know what happened to them, but I know they're not. I know that you can't buy. Well, I'm sure that you can't get a brand new Valley Arts guitar from the Valley Arts factory. You might be able to buy a new old stock one somewhere, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
So, you know, one of the ones that I always am amazed was around as long as they were, maybe, is Mosrite. In fact, it's so much so that I put a picture of a Mosrite on the thumbnail.
I was too busy huffing paint.
You were busy working.
Yeah.
But like Mosrite's one of those companies where without Semi Mosley, there's no Mosrite.
No, except he sold the rights to it to some Japanese companies. That's why there's so much Japanese stuff. And then some other Japanese companies sort of made bootlegs and carried it on and all this other stuff.
Did you say that Ed Roman owned part of that stuff, or did he just own a bunch of bits?
I think he just imported a bunch of stuff from Japan. I don't think he actually owned any Mosrite thing.
So question, do you know is somebody now owns the name Mosrite or whatever, right? Semi Mosley.
Yeah, but I don't know who it is. It's really convoluted. I think if you and I had approached Semi Mosley, we could own a part of Mosrite right now.
Do you think that you could buy a new Mosrite guitar now? Like maybe you couldn't import it into whatever, but if you were wherever they were made, do they still make them?
You can actually still buy a new Mosrite in Japan. I think if you go to a store, there will be a Mosrite.
What do you guys think? What's a guitar company that you missed? You think maybe went away too soon? Is it G&L? Is it Mosrite? Is it Hamer? Is it BC Rich? Is all that stuff still available? I don't know.
The Hamer thing is actually, you know, I mean, good Lord, they were freaking everywhere. You know,
and I think there might still be one of those. Remember, several years ago, we saw it's the new Hamer stuff, and they were all made in like overseas somewhere, and they were okay.
Yeah. So whoever owns the intellectual property that we've all learned about over the last couple of weeks with the G&L thing, then you have the rights to make anything and everything you want and label it that stuff,
and
right?
you can probably make it one year and not make it the next, and then start making it the next year.
Yeah, and that happens over and over again. There's a company called Micro Frets, which was a California company, and they got started late in the guitar boom and struggled along, and then just closed. Somebody a couple years ago tried to bring it back. I think that's happened a couple of times with Micro Frets.
Okay.
Of all companies.
How big are the frets on those?
They're micro.
Really?
No, they're normal frets, but they got a bunch of other weird stuff. They have a compensated nut.
Microtonal?
That moves around. They had a wireless thing. And a lot of country guys played them because they would give away the guitars for free to anybody that seemed like they were somebody. So,
all right. So there's some people talking about here. Let's see. Shark Air says, was Parker the first guitar to offer stainless steel frets? I don't know. Or actually, he says SS frets. I don't know if that means Secret Service or stainless steel. I don't know the answer to that. If I knew, I would tell you.
Salisbury steak frets? Oh, man. I love Salisbury steak.
Buckingham Bard says, Burns tremolo is fabulous. There must have been I must have missed something there. Paul,
somebody's probably talking about Burns.
Yeah.
That's another one that's come back several times.
Gone and come back.
Yeah.
Paul says, is Pensa Sir still around, or did they go away when John Sir left and started his own thing? Is that the same Sir? Is that the same guy? I mean, know. I'm sure Paul knows.
Paul who?
Paul Goslin.
Oh, okay.
Zygmunt says, Hamer, yes. Lazy Boy Rider says, not sure if this fits the conversation, but I'm surprised Taylor electric guitars faded away. I thought they were good guitars. Yeah, remember they had kind of a neat neck attachment method.
They faded away?
I haven't seen it. For a while, this was probably, I don't know, 15, maybe 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Maybe. They were around, and then they just were gone.
Okay. We're not talking about Tacoma. We're talking about Taylor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they had
had no idea they were gone.
Yeah, and they might not be, but they're not as easy to find.
Oh,
if they are gone, they're not as easy to find as. Yeah,
it's a distribution issue, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Lucky Jackson says, "Will you guys ever do a bass workshop?" Well, that's a good question.
We've built a bunch of basses in workshops. Yeah. We've never done a bass specific workshop. Partially because we don't think that there would be enough people interested in doing that. But if we offered a build your own Fender, build your own, whatever, set neck, and everybody happened to build basses, that would be totally fine with us.
One of the things that we will be doing when we get the new class schedule up is what we're calling, as of right now, Chris's Essential Fender Workshop and Matt's Essential Woodworking Workshop. Now, you will do different things in each one, but if in Chris's Essential Fender style workshop, you wanted to build a jazz bass or a P bass, you could do that. If in Matt's Essential Woodworking Workshop, you wanted to build a bass that, let's say you wanted to make, I don't know,
EBO.
An EBO. You could do that. Okay. Provided we have all the templates and things to make that.
Yep.
So yeah, you could. It's just I think that what people kind of forget about is unless I say, this is what I think, and I could be wrong. If I said build a classic set neck, and I put a picture of a Les Paul on the thing to kind of get your creative juices flowing, people go, oh, cool. Could I build a double cutaway? Well, yeah, you could. Just because there's a picture of a single cutaway Les Paul doesn't mean that's the only thing you could make. Now, The flip side to that is also true. Chris's Essential Fender Workshop. Cool. Can I build a Les Paul Jr.? Blah, 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 blah. No, that's, you need to wait till the next thing. So yeah.
If you want it to look like a Mustang, then heck
yeah. Just because Warmoth made a Les Paul Jr. thing with a great big long tongue sticking out of it doesn't mean that we're going to do that. So, okay. Doc says Chris's workshop is perfect for building a P bass or a J bass. Doc's built
That's
a bass.
Exactly right. That's right. Yeah. Doc did build a. Yeah, and really Chris's class is a really good intro class. You get to do some woodworking and you get to leave with a finished guitar, which is fun. The other one, just because the build technique is a little more advanced, there's a little more woodworking. That would be a good second class to take. Now, if you wanted to take the woodworking one first, that's fine too. But just because of construction techniques, the Chris's Fender class lends itself really, really well to leaving with a finished guitar.
My woodworking workshop, you just start with a big pile of lumber and we turn it into a guitar. So as you can as you might be able to imagine, that leaves absolutely zero room for spraying paint, putting it together. Now, a couple guys have tried and they've met with mixed results. Some guys have done better than others. Some guys, don't. Some people don't even finish the thing at all, and it's they're kind of like, oh, I'll finish it when I get home. It is, but
that's the
other guys have tried to put it together and even like kind of kicked and stabbed their way to a done guitar in 5 days.
5 days or 7 days. We've done. We used to do a 2-day paint extension. And at that point, I don't think 2 days is enough to do all the paint extending that people want.
It's really just a way for you and I to be stressed out.
And it's really hard on us. The problem with paint is paint takes time to dry, or it takes time to spray. Somebody will go, well, why don't you use the UV? Well, because there's a 3-hour spray thing that has to happen before you UV it, which isn't a whole lot different than spraying at the end of the day and leaving it overnight, in my mind.
Bob says still waiting for HST hardware. Some, Bob. The real issue is that we've got a class this week, so we're not.
These the ones up on the wall are not marched on from the last time you saw them, only because there's a class and I marched some other stuff on. But we are waiting for a couple of things, unfortunately. In this global economy,
that's tricky.
I'm not going to say that.
Doc says, any thoughts on providing students with a recommended curriculum so they know which order would be best to take them in? Okay, Doc, that's a great question. And the answer was yes.
Matt used to number stuff.
The answer
in the college way.
No. So
Matt used to have, well, should this be a 1.3 class or 2 class? I'm like,
really,
I didn't get that far.
What we discovered is that nobody cared about that. They said, well, I don't want to take I'm an advanced guy. I don't want, as soon as you put advanced
take a 2.0
or
class.
Basic in something, nobody wants to take anything basic. Nobody wants to intro. Nobody wants to do anything. They want to jump into the more advanced thing. And that's fine. That's what I would do too. But as soon as I make a curriculum and recommend that people do that, all that does is really just waste a bunch of my time trying to convince people to do something that they're never going to do. Based on the last 5 years of experience on my part. This is not just something I just kind of fabricated out of thin air.
Based on the last week and a half.
It's based on the workshops that we've been doing since 2019. Nobody wants to do anything that has the word basic in it, unless it's Watch Basic Instinct. And nobody want no introduction, no prerequisite. Everybody hates those words.
Oh, geez.
Remember we did that. This is the prerequisite that lasted for 1 month, and there was a mutiny.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Yeah. Well, I haven't taken that class, but I took wood shop in junior high.
In junior high, 58 years ago.
Yeah.
So
made a poking stick.
So you're right, Doc. That would be a good thing to do, but it generally falls on deaf ears. Jerry says, I'll bet trying to get finish on at the end translates to uncured finish, not ready to ship without printing. Kinda.
No, everything that we use has a hardener in it, so it dries within a specified amount of time. But you know, tons and tons of prep, spray, wait.
We have had some stuff though that got some fuzzy, the negative of fuzz from the case.
We didn't let them dry long enough before we put them in the thing. But that dry time was hours, not a day. Yeah.
Buckingham Bard asks, ideas on Phil McKnight's PRS Court Campus Tour. I haven't seen it. Do you have any ideas on that?
Is he talking about the videos that Phil did in Indonesia, walking around the factory?
Your guess is as good as mine.
They were cool.
Yeah.
The funny thing about all of that stuff is you think of those factories are nice. Let's just say that. Yeah, they're nice.
They got dust all over the place?
No.
They got any areas where there's dust all over? I've seen those factories too.
Yeah, I have seen that factory. Yes.
It's like, holy moly.
Well, yeah. And
that's a powder keg.
Yeah. And everything's makes me feel good about us. But no, and I know they probably, their day-to-day operations are just as dusty as everybody else's. But yeah, well lit, nice floors, nice ceilings.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
A very, very advanced machinery.
But you know what?
They're not doing it with electric beavers.
Yeah. We've got some more. So we've talked about guitars that went away too soon. Let's talk about a couple of guitar brands that just don't seem to refuse to go away.
They're still around.
Are they still doing it? And if you guys want to talk more about classes and workshops, I definitely want to do that. So whatever you want to talk about on those two topics, we can sit around and chat for those. Mike Beckloff says, I can't believe how many guitars Court kicks out each year.
Yeah.
Remember when you first heard of Court guitars? Like, the guitar that just said Court. Yeah. Is that still a thing?
I don't believe so. But I also don't believe it has to be a thing.
Yeah, I don't.
At this point. Now, maybe overseas it's a thing.
Perhaps.
But yeah.
One of the ones that if everybody universally pans what the internet not so lovingly calls Chibson.
Yeah.
Dylan says Harley Benton.
Yeah.
It's
that he can't believe that it's still a thing.
I can't believe those.
Absolutely, still believe that it's
everybody.
Dylan can too.
Everybody pans those things as the hot garbage that of the guitar world. Yet they're still making guitars. They're still selling them. I don't know how they do it. Frankly, I don't care how they do it. But
I know how they do it.
What's that?
It's cheap prices.
Yeah, but how do they do that? Like hold everyone at gunpoint to work for them? I mean, maybe.
Dylan has videos on it.
Of people who are being held at gunpoint?
No, but yeah. There are lots of labor laws in foreign countries that aren't necessarily labor laws here.
Okay.
One of my favorite bike companies recently came under scrutiny for some unfair practices in that regard. And it's one of the big three bike companies. It's the largest bicycle manufacturer in the world. And they got a bunch of heat for unfair factory worker practices. I haven't read into it a whole lot, but that stuff happens.
I guess if labor and life is cheap, then
yeah, and that's really the differentiating portion of all of this is if you buy a cheap guitar, the labor was the cheapest.
Okay.
So.
Paul Goslin says Court, Samick, and World do a pretty good job kicking out contract manufacturer guitars for everyone else.
Yeah.
Remember
the one that I'm not familiar with, but
is Samick still a brand that you can get like the Samick guitar?
Once again, I don't think so. Not here anyway, because they're too busy building for everybody else. So. Yeah.
All right, here's a good one. Zygmunt says Rickenbacker still at it after all these years. How many guitars can Rickenbacker possibly make and sell every year?
I have no idea. And the funny thing is, Rickenbacker has been around since the dawn of time. FC Hall, the guy that owned it, was part of Fender. That was one of the reasons that Fender ever made it, was because of Rickenbacker's success and FC Hall's money into the system, basically. And Rickenbacker's been owned by the same family since forever, and nobody talks about that. And they're still making the same exact stuff.
Yeah, I don't think there's a new Rickenbacker model.
New for 2025.
Yeah. And who's the okay, this is gonna sound crass, and I don't mean it to. You know how Fred Gretsch said that that without Brian Setzer, Gretsch would probably be gone. I'm not suggesting that this is going to happen, but without Tom Petty and without Lemmy Kilmister, what's going to happen to Rickenbacker?
I don't know.
The Smithereens, doing so good that
No, they are not. You could put a little bit of it on George Harrison, a little bit of it on Roger McGuinn, from the Byrds. I kind of like that jangly sound.
Yeah.
Well, here's your 12 string.
Here's your 12.
Yeah, you're gonna need a compressor with that. But I mean, and they're still chugging along.
Still making moves.
And our funny story about them is, you go to NAMM, and I think it's probably still this way. All the guitars are bolted to the display, and it's the same guitar you saw last year. It's the same guitar you saw
maybe it's
2 or 3 years ago. Maybe at this point, but I know for the 2 or 3 years that we went, they were the same guitars.
They were exactly the same spot. Exactly the same.
Loaded with blems. The only other company that had more blems to their guitars was
another company that I'm surprised is still around, Heritage. Now, Heritage cleaned up their act quite a bit the last time you and I were at a winter NAMM.
Well, so the funny thing was, you could see a shift in monies.
A market change,
All of a sudden, their booth was real nice.
Yeah.
As opposed to the previous version, which I thought was really cool because it still had some old Gibson guys there. So,
let's see. Mike says Rick's interesting one, especially the ones with the flat top frets that were unplayable. Yeah, it's kooky, man.
Well, so those flat top frets, that was a thing with a bunch of companies.
Mosrite and Gibson included.
And I'll bet you, I don't know. So Semi Mosley worked for Rickenbacker for a red hot minute.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah, and they and there was a guy named Roger Rossmeisel that was working at Rickenbacker at the same time that Semi worked for them. And Roger later worked for Fender, but that whole German carb thing, that was all Roger Rossmeisel and his father from Germany.
Okay.
Yeah. So
hence the German carb. Okay.
Hence the German carb and the very, very German name. But anyway, the guitar world was that big, especially
back in
California.
Back in the late 50s and early 60s.
California. Yeah.
Loring says Ovation guitars. Are they still around or are they gone?
Yes, they are, because I looked into it recently.
Okay.
Because I was curious. Now they've never done well with electrics.
They're not making the breadwinner anymore,
no,
unlike
or the
Rickenbacker.
Unfortunately, I would buy one if they were.
You say that.
If they were, not a ton of money. So I like really weird, quirky things, and I like to remake weird, quirky things, and I like to remake weird, quirky things that you can buy for not very much money.
Like the Peavey T-60. No one's jumping at the bit. Guys, I'm going to go out on a limb.
And that would be an easy one to make because I know where to get really heavy ash.
Okay.
Any time of the day.
I want you guys you heard it here first. There will never be a TTG Peavey tribute T-60.
The TTG Peavey T-60,
Peavey T-60
GT.
That's what
Peavey.
Maybe we should we couldn't. The problem with I was talking with a guy who said I have one of the original Hamer Sustainer bridges. As it turns out, he can't lay hands on. So I don't know if he ever really did have it or not. I'm sure he did. But the Hamer Sustainer bridge is pretty neat. And you can't get them. But as you guys know, scarcity does not necessarily equal neatness. because you can't get those bridges that Peavey used on the T-60. They're like hen's teeth.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anybody. If we said, hey, we're making a special run of T-60s, we're going to use this bridge instead, nobody, and I mean nobody, would go, dude, I have a T-60 bridge. Can you make me a guitar with it? Nobody would do that.
Yeah, no.
I can't. Well, nobody has done that.
No. I find the hardware on a T-60 the most interesting part of the guitar.
Yes, it's certainly one of the second heaviest thing on that.
Well, the shape of them is not appealing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think.
No,
it's neat now
they suck.
To look at them and go, wow, this was, cutting edge, and I'm so happy for them. And this hardware, and you look at it and you're like, I know where all this stuff came from, or I know the ideas behind all this stuff, heavy and big and bulky and rigid and all that, but just doesn't float my boat.
Dylan says, you would be surprised how many people asked me to make a T-60 reissue pickups. And then he says, okay, fine, it's only about 2 a year, but it seems like it's way more than I would have thought. Yeah, that is that is actually 200% more people than I would think would do it.
Yeah.
Sean Joint says he used to have one of those boat anchors, and his friend still has one of the Peavey.
Yeah, Dave Chenzoff has one. He brought it out here, and it was a neat guitar to see at this point. I hadn't seen one in, good Lord, 30 years, something like that.
How much do you think a Peavey T anything is going for now?
More than you would be willing to pay. They've gone up. Like
they're more than like $200 or whatever.
Oh,
I remember when they were like $200-300.
Buy anything old for $200. Not even vintage, just old.
Scarcity does not equal. You know what? I bet you
it's absolutely true.
You remember that time you and I went into Guitar Center and there were these weird Gibson things. They said Gibson on them.
They weren't melody makers, but they were way, way worse.
Like they were like I don't know what they were called, the turd burglars or something like that. And we looked at two of them, and they like each had the same flaws in the same, like it was like a manufacturer's defect in exactly the same spot.
Yeah, whoever's job it was that day
to put a big ring ginder on.
Straight was wrong. Yeah, they were awful. terrible, and all the hardware was garbage, and finish was garbage. And
Dylan says T-60s are about $600 to $800. Who would pay? If any of you guys are paying,
well, on the vintage market, that's actually not a bad deal. I mean, you could be all sorts of weird about T-60s and have $1,200 in a collection of them.
You're right.
Yeah, I know all there is to know about T-60s. Want to see my collection? $1,800.
No, I don't want to see your collection.
Yeah, and I think they're neat guitars, and it's fun to see that stuff at this point.
They were neater when they were $250.
They weren't neat when they were $100, because I had $100 burning a hole in my pocket, and I wouldn't have bought. There were 3 of them available. I didn't want any of them in 1989.
Good night.
In Durango, Colorado, and that was part of the thing. Was like, why are there 3 of these turds at this bullshit pawn shop in Durango, Colorado?
Oh my gosh, it's funny that so some of the guys are saying that they had T-15s. That was like this. Believe it or not, there was an actual suckier version of the T-60, the student model, the T-15.
That was the short scale, 24-inch scale.
And someone says the T-30 would be half the weight. Yeah, I don't know if that's
T-40 the thing. Was the base.
But they came in. You could get them in a color that wasn't just natural.
Well, they had sunburst,
and they had black ones too. I forgot all about that. Yeah.
At one point too.
I think you're right. Yeah.
But that was modern manufacturing.
It's one of the very first CNC built guitars.
CNC and some other tools to lower the price and make Fender take notice. And like, have you seen the clips of Jerry Reed and his band playing Nothing But Peavey? A bunch of guys just hunched over. That's not true. You ain't lived until you've seen an entire band playing Peavey, playing Eastbound and Down on Peavey everything.
And all the amps had those 2 upright aluminum trim bits. And I
was watching something, and this guy was.
The guys in Leonard Skinner that got a bunch of free Peavey crap.
This guy was talking about playing with Dwight Yoakam and how Dwight had this Peavey PA that he loved, and how loud it always was. Like, yeah,
I remember back in the 80s in Amarillo, Texas, if you wanted to buy a PA, you went to Randy's Music Mart and you bought a Peavey PA.
Yeah. And it was probably pretty good stuff, actually.
I think that the sound reinforcement stuff was as heavy as the guitars, but maybe better than the guitars.
Yeah, well, and you know, the guitars I think were pretty good, actually really good for the time. They just
Peavey.
You know, I mean, for one thing, all that ash, who wants to play hard rock and heavy metal on all that ash, all that blonde ash? Yeah. Nobody wants to do that.
Yeah.
So
do you give Dave Mustaine had a Peavey guitar, they would have kicked him out of Metallica earlier?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think you're right.
Yeah. Hey guys, I'm here to try out for the band.
I think I think everybody else
get
said,
out.
Get him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Metallica, as you know it, wouldn't have existed if Dave Mustaine had a Peavey T-60.
The whole band has Peaveys. Yeah.
Oh. All right, guys. Dylan says he has a Peavey Studio Pro 40. It was his first amp, and he bought another one for $100. He has a stack of them.
Yeah. We talked about starting a
Peavey
band
stack
based on what Peavey rages,
and I think you should call it Peavey stack too.
Because Ike had two of them. My first amp
Peavey
was actually a Peavey.
The Peavey Bandits.
It was Bandits.
Okay.
Yeah, what did I have? I might have had the Rage. The cool thing for a while was to take the logo off and hang it upside down because the screw holes matched up. And it just ended up upside down. You didn't have to drill anything. So yeah, I had this little bullshit amp. And yeah.
You know, back in those days, everyone's favorite guitar and amp company, Fender, had some turkeys too. Remember I think that was the Rad Studio, and the Jamm, and they're all covered with that gray monkey fur. Yep. So
yeah, I'll bet you there's a Facebook page that's all about those and how great
dedicated to how awesome all that
Jamm
crap-tastic
they made
stuff.
more than I have a 212 Jamm.
I'm sure if we wait long enough, somebody's gonna say yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to read this, and I want you to file it away for December when Paul's here, because we don't have time to really deep dive into this. But he says, Yamaha has had surprising amount of staying power. We could spend an hour talking about why Yamaha has staying power and how it is no surprise at all.
Thoughts on Yamaha.
Yeah. Okay. Tazzy Tim says he used to have a band that had a full Peavey sponsorship.
There you go.
You know what you had to do to get that, don't you? You had to have a band. Yeah. Okay.
That's basically the same answer.
Okay, guys. It's time for us to call it a night. I haven't eaten anything all day except for some Jolly Ranchers that Gary Redburn left here. So I'm going to do some eating maybe. I don't know what I'm going to do. I might have to go to the gym. So, but we will see you guys tomorrow for a reveal, right?
Yes.
Before you ask, tomorrow there will be a
reveal.
One guitar reveal, maybe two. Actually, there'll be two guitar reveals.
We'll show one. Yeah, it won't really be a reveal.
Yeah. And I want you guys to go over and check out our good friend Dylan and his lovely wife Leslie over on their channel, Dylan Talks Tone, and hang out with them where they're going to talk about, Lord only knows what they're going to talk about for the first hour. Maybe
nothing but an hour.
All Peavey all the time.
All the time. Second hour is all Peavey.
Do they still do 2 hours?
I think they do, as long as people
want to stick around. Okay. Well, guys, we will see you tomorrow around sometime. I don't know when. Maybe it'll be early, but probably around 5. Given what I'm thinking, probably around the time it's going to take to do. You know.
Yeah. We have a lot to do tomorrow.
Yeah. So, guys, we'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night, and we'll talk to you then.